Okay, Monday night, 7:45. It's quite late at the minute. I wanted to train a little bit earlier, but I just got a little caught up earlier on doing some work, and one thing led to the next, and you know how it is, like those days where you kind of just get stuck into something that you're doing or something that you have on your to-do list, and you kind of lose a little bit, you lose track of time. That's essentially what happened to me today. We're still getting it done. Obviously last week was the deload week, and it was week 6 of the mini cut as well. I'm not sure if the mini cut's going to be continuing, because usually mini cuts are wrapped up around that 6-week mark. I mean, anything that's beyond 6 weeks is typically looked at more so as just a normal general deficit phase and not a mini cut. Because mini cut, as the name implies, it's meant to be miniature in comparison to a normal cutting phase. But if it continues, then it'll just be a cutting phase, I guess. I'm indifferent about it. I don't care if we continue the deficit or if we end it and get back into growing, because even though I'm cutting, I'm still on quite a lot of food. Weight's still slowly dropping, just north of 4,000 calories per day. So if I have to maintain that for a little bit longer, I'm not bothered, I'm not fussed. However, because it was a deload week last week, and because I've been doing the same exercises pretty much for the last few training blocks back to back, with a little bit of variance between them, it's time for a new training block. So tonight you'll be seeing me go through the first session of my new training block that I basically assembled and asked for my coach's opinion on. And so he'll probably just review it, make maybe a few little minor tweaks here and there if he feels the need to, or if not, he'll just be like, yep, good to go. So that's what is happening tonight. Starting off with calves as usual, but I've got 2 calf exercises in my first session of the week now instead of just one. So I'll be doing the donkey calf raise, supersetting that with a seated calf raise. I've got 3 supersets of that. Then it'll be into the chest work, I believe, yes, chest work, and then finishing off with some delts. I haven't got the delts before chest in this session, but the session later in the week where I hit chest and delts again, I do have delts before chest. So the reason I'm setting it up like this is to just kind of give my chest the opportunity to have a little bit of additional stimulus, and also I am going to trial out an exercise that I kind of swore to myself I'd never do again, which is incline Smith press, and I want to be super fresh for that if I'm doing it. I don't want to be super fatigued or anything of that sort. So having the chest work before the delt work is, I suppose, a way of ensuring that happens. So got flies, incline Smith press, converging chest press to hammer strength, converging chest press, the one where you're supine laying down, and then just some dumbbell laterals supersetted with some front raises, dumbbell front raises. So 4 sets of that superset, and then just 3 straight sets of each of the 3 chest movements, and that's pretty much the entire session in a nutshell. So a lot more volume than the deload week, obviously, but still volumes in the more kind of conservative side for me relative to what I can handle and what I will eventually build it up to. But for these first couple of weeks of the new block, I'll likely keep volume fixed at this kind of a lower end, just because I still feel a little bit of lingering fatigue from the deload week. Even though the deload week should have resolved most of it, there's still a little bit of fatigue hanging around. So just to ensure that I give my body the opportunity to fully recover, I'm just going to keep volume around that like maintenance, minimum effective volume territory, and not try to titrate it as aggressively as I would had I been starting the training block completely fresh. And that should just give my body ample time to kind of catch up with the recovery process and be sweet by about the 2-week mark in this new block. So EAAs are all mixed up. Had my pre-workout meal before I came, which was just ground chicken breast, rice, a little bit of lettuce just for some texture, but no proper vegetables, because if I have fibre before I train, I feel like I'm going to throw up. So I try to limit fibre intake before training and after training around that pre-workout window. Low fibre, low fats, higher carbohydrates, moderate to high protein, and then anywhere else throughout the day so I can have a little bit more fats, a little bit more fibre. I don't have any negative implications on my digestion as a result of that. But definitely around the peri-workout window, I don't want to have that because it will slow the gastric emptying rate, gastric motility will be slower, and as a result, you just have more food kind of backed up in your system for a longer period of time. Whereas if you minimize the fiber intake, the fat intake, the gastric emptying rate will be quicker for that food, especially if you haven't eaten a lot of fats earlier in the day either. If you haven't eaten a lot of fats prior to your training at all in that day, the gastric emptying rate will be quite quick. If you have a lot of fats or fiber in breakfast, so it will slow it down a little bit, so keep that in mind. But I typically backload a lot of my fiber and fats toward bedtime for no particular reason other than I just feel better. Energy levels are better. I don't feel bloated, I don't feel sick. And if I feel a little bit bloated before I go to bed, I don't really mind because I'm going to be sleeping it off for the next several hours. So that's the thing. As long as I don't feel sickly full to the point that I can't get a good quality night's sleep, I don't mind having extra fiber. I'm feeling a little bit more full, a little bit bloated comparative to earlier in the day. So yeah, I'll see you guys in there for the training session. Now, in order to effectively pull off this superset, I'm going to have to do a little bit of crafty cameraman work. I'm going to have to like take the camera over to the seated calf raise with me, so bear with me. I don't know if I'm actually going to edit it out. I might be too lazy. If that's the case, you'll see me carrying the camera between exercises, but whatever. Shit, I can't even read this. 75, I think. I'm just going to say that's 75. That is way too light. Full stack it is. Yeah, let's be real, I'm probably not going to edit this out, so if you see all this moving and it annoys you, piss off. So I just dropped the weight down for the seated calves for the next couple sets, just because I was only hitting the bottom end of the rep range. I only got 12 reps on that first set, and I don't feel like the quality of reps were quite there. Like I wasn't getting a full contraction at the top, so rather than just keep lifting with my ego, I decided to back the weight off. So I'll just use, instead of 160 pound, I'll just use around 90 to 120 pound on the next couple sets. I've only got 90 loaded up there at the minute, but I might throw on an extra, say, like 30-pound. I'll see how I feel. I reckon 90 will be enough if I really focus on good quality reps. So just keep it at this. I can always adjust next week if it's too easy, but I reckon this will be fine for the next couple of weeks. All right. Damn, calf burn's crazy. I forgot how bad it was on seated calf raises, because I haven't done seated calf raises for a few months, to be honest. I used to do them all the time, like I was such a stickler for them, but yeah, it's been a good solid 6 months, I think, since I had seated calf raises in rotation. But yeah, supersetting them with the donkey is just insane, because you get obviously a lot of stretch through the gastroc when you're doing the donkey, because you got your knee in full extension. Then you come here, your knee's in flexion. You just recruit that soleus so much more. Nice combo. One more set to go. Right, I better get this set out of the way because I need to take a leak. So, do this, toilet break, and then into chest. Now, as much as I want to just absolutely destroy myself in this session. I need to be mindful of the fact that my DOMs, although I've had a full deload week, still aren't completely resolved or gone yet. And it's also the first time having a lot of these exercises back in rotation in a long time. So the risk of kind of pulling something or just overdoing it is a lot higher when you have a new exercise introduced into your training or a new exercise put into rotation. Even if it's something that you've done in the past and done quite consistently in the past, if there's been a decent break since you last did a movement, integrating a movement back in is probably wise to just play it a little bit more conservative that first 1 to 2 sessions back, and then go back into the full send mentality. Just get my feet even on the foot pad. Don't want to unevenly load one side. Shit. They burn. Alright, time to drain the one-eyed trouser snake. Alright, 3 sets of this. Just have to play around with the seat height. I have a feeling I need it right up the top. Yeah, that feels about right. Yeah. It's always different, depends on the brand of pec deck fly that you use, but some you'll need to obviously put the seat right down, others you'll need to crank it right up. Just gotta make sure that the height of your hands is pretty much in line with the height of your shoulder joint, or like an inch, give or take, either way. As long as you're in kind of that territory, you're pretty sweet. But if it's like, if your hands are super low relative to your shoulders or super high, it's gonna feel really awkward. And you're not gonna really load the pec as effectively, in my opinion. So same kind of ballpark, like height-wise for the hands or the wrist joint and the shoulder joint, I suppose. And then yeah, just go at it. But weight-wise, I'm gonna actually do the first working set with the weight that I used in my deload week, but I'll just push it a little bit further, so aim for a few more reps and just really focus on a nice controlled stretch, because out of all the DOMs I still have, my chest DOMs are probably the worst. So I definitely don't want to push this session hard in terms of chest training, in terms of like load. So just so first set wasn't too bad. Felt a little bit tight, but First set always does feel a little bit off, at least for me usually. What I've found to be the case is the second working set always feels the best, and then it's just kind of slowly, progressively downhill from there. The first set feels pretty rough a lot of the time. Final set of these, and then onto the diabolical pec tearing exercise, incline Smith press. Hopefully I don't regret this. Suit doesn't feel quite. Oh, that's better. Okay. Just do one warm-up set and then I'll dive into the working weight. Working weight wise, I'll probably only do 1.5 to 2 plates a side. So I really am a strong believer that a lot of people overload this movement way too much. And it becomes less of a chest movement and more of a power lift. Okay. Said my prayers, hopefully I don't hurt myself. I'll go a bit of a narrower grip, I think. It was a bit shaky, so I'll try to do a little bit better on this set. Leaving a good 3-4 reps in the tank intentionally today because one, this is what I tore my chest on last time. And I say last time because I've torn my chest 3 times already in my lifting career. And 2, it's the first week of a new training block. And 3, I was still sore as fuck even though I had a deload week last week. So there's 3 valid reasons to take this exercise very conservatively in a session. So yeah, 1 more set of these. I'll just do a set of 6 again and slowly progress from there over the coming weeks, provided that muscle soreness settles down. If DOMs decrease by 1 arbitrary unit of measurement, because I rate my DOMs on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being terrible, 1 being nothing. So if they go from say like a 3 out of 5 soreness to a 2 out of 5 next week, then I'll aim for 3 sets of 7. Very conservative progression, so not aiming for anything heroic or anything of that sort, just slow, consistent, linear progress. Yeah, 1 more of these, then the converging chest press, and then finish off with the superset for shoulders with the dumbbell laterals and dumbbell front raises. So, smidge wider. Foot a little bit too close on that last set, but I don't want to go ultra wide. There we go. Just had to fix the bench up. I moved the seat a little bit. Now, seeing as with this exercise you can converge at the top a little bit, there's less of a risk for tearing your pec because you're not just staying under a loaded stretch as much throughout the movement. So I can push this a little bit closer to failure and it'll be safe. So with this I will go a little bit closer to failure, but with the incline Smith press I just want to be very, very cautious with that, especially seeing as that's what I, like I said, tore my pec on last time. So with this, I'll probably go like 2-3 reps in reserve, maybe close to that 2 rep in reserve mark. Again, sub-maximal, not because I like to train like a little bitch, but just because I'm still sore even though I had a deload week. And you need to be smart, guys. It's one thing that I've learned as I've lifted for longer and longer over the years is when you're young, when you're new to lifting, you can get away with stupid shit. Like I used to lift like all those guys you see in the gym. I used to lift like Sam Sillick, stuff like that. I'd walk in the gym, I'd do max effort squats, max effort bench, max effort deadlift, and your body can take it for a number of years, but then you start falling apart and you have to start being more strategic with your training approach if you want to have any kind of longevity and sustainability in your training and not accrue injury after injury throughout your lifting career. So as you get older, and I'm trying to say I'm old, I'm still young, but as you do get older, as you get less young over time, you need to be increasingly more intelligent with your training approach and methodology. So playing it safe, because it's better safe than sorry, is, as you would have heard, Not a bad first set. Chest feels extra tender tonight though, I'll tell you that. Like it's been tenderized with a meat tenderer. Like, you know when you get chicken schnitzels and you get like the chicken breast steak and you have to mallet it. So you kind of like put all those dents in it so you can really soak it in egg, flour and then crumb it. That's what my chest feels like right now. It's like being beaten with one of those like mallets. All right, second set. Oh. Final two exercises, just a quick superset with laterals and front raises. A lot of people will be like, oh, if you do enough pressing, you don't need to train front delts. I think it's a lot of shit. I think if you actually have any appreciable muscle on your frame, your front delts are going to be imbalanced to the rest of your body if you don't directly target them a little bit. They don't need as much direct work as, say, the lateral head or the posterior head of the delt, but they still need a little bit of love. So hitting your anterior delts directly once a week, I mean, it isn't going to hurt. It's only going to be a benefit, if anything. And it doesn't take much time out of your session. Like doing 3 sets of front raises, just supersetting them with your laterals, like what does that do? It adds like fucking 4 minutes to your session. Like if you can't afford to spend 4 minutes on your front delts, you're probably a little bit fucked in the head. So yeah, the audio might sound a little bit low quality, guys, but that's because I don't have the, as you can see, the microphone attached to myself or to the camera, for that matter. So we're just going off of the actual camera's audio recording capabilities, which aren't anywhere near as good. So that's the reason for the change in the quality of the sound. But I'm now having my post-workout meal, which is just my cereal. There we go. You can't really see it, but it's just, I'll try. So yeah, it's just 3 different kinds of so what I was saying, before I just fix that camera up, 3 kinds of cereal: Rice Krispies, Frosted Flakes, and multigrain Cheerios, and just some frozen blueberries and 2 scoops of whey and some water poured over the top. But yeah, I'll down this and dive into some editing. I'll edit this video, and I'm going to edit a few reels that I've started recording, so I'm going to start putting some reels on Instagram, I think. Yeah, camera obviously died midway through recording that last superset of shoulder exercises, but hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. And I'm going to down this, get into some work, and then it'll be bedtime not too long after that. So see you next time, guys.